An AI YouTuber just admitted on the record that scaring you gets him more views than telling the truth. Congress passed a housing bill, so bipartisan, the president had to throw a tantrum just to feel involved in it. And people are drinking wet gelatin because they think it's Ozempic. 3 lanes today, same disease underneath all of them, so let's rip it open. Let's start with AI because the confession is too good to bury. A creator named Matthew Berman posted this out loud. Not whispered, he posted it. Bashing AI gets more views. His words. He said most people already hate AI, so content that confirms what they already believe outperforms content that tells them something true. Then he went after another AI YouTuber for being too negative, which is like the guy at the bar bragging about how good he is at lying and then getting pissed off at the guy next to him for lying better. Now, here's the part that should bother you more than the confession. If the incentive is fear, and fear beats truth on the scoreboard every single time, then the AI content you're watching wasn't built to inform you. It was built to keep you scared, enough to stay. And that's not a conspiracy. That's just the algorithm doing exactly what it was told to do. So when you watch the next AI is about to destroy everything video, the first question isn't, is it true? The first question is, does this guy get paid more if I stay scared? Speaking of scared, the stock market took a real swing at the AI trade a few weeks back. The NASDAQ dropped over 2 percentage points across a rough stretch. In South Korea's KOSPI index cratered almost 10% in a single day, bad enough to trip a circuit breaker, the kind of automatic shutoff that only fires when the market is actively panicking. Now, Samsung and SK Hynix, the companies that build the chips inside basically every AI data center on Earth, fell about 12% that same morning. Every AI Doom account held a field day, and the bubble popped. They said. Micron posted a strong earnings report 2 days later, and the Kospi ripped back up 5%. The crash that wasn't. If you built your entire worldview around like headline, you look like an idiot by Thursday. Then not a reason to ignore a stock market, but a reason to start trading a 48-hour window as a verdict on a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Then you've got Jensen Huang, who runs Nvidia, the company that sells the chips everyone in the crash was panicking about, going on a podcast and announcing that we've already achieved AGI, artificial general intelligence, the things labs have spent a decade trying to define, let alone build. Huang declared it done. He just said it, used a definition borrowed on the spot from the host. Convenient. The man who sells the shovels just told you there's gold in the hills, using a measuring stick he picked up 5 minutes earlier. Maybe he's right, but when the guy with the most to gain makes the biggest claim with the loosest definition, you don't take his word for it. You ask him to show you his work. And here's the one that should actually change how you think about fear itself, because it's not a hot take. It's a company reversing course with real money. IBM built an AI system to handle its own internal HR requests. It worked technically. It handled 94% of the routine requests just fine, but that last 6%, the actual hard human, this needs judgment cases, the machine couldn't close them. So IBM is now tripling its every entry-level hiring for next year. They fired for AI, and now they're rehiring humans for that exact part AI couldn't do. Meanwhile, the broader numbers are real too. Over 113,000 tech jobs cut this year across roughly 180 layoff events, with close to 88,000 of those directly blamed on AI by the firm that tracks this stuff for a living. So both things are true at once. AI is cutting real jobs. AI is also proving in real time exactly where its limits are. Neither headline alone tells you the whole story. Together, they actually do. One more AI thread, and it walks us straight into real estate, so stay with me. Part of what's cooling the hottest housing markets in Texas right now is a visa pipeline slowing down, tied directly to AI-driven layoffs in tech. Builders in the Dallas area bet big on specific waves of buyers tied to that visa category. That wave is thinning out. Buyers are sitting on inventory. Builders are sitting on inventory they built for buyers who aren't showing up anymore. That's not a race story. Whatever ugly framing some creators are putting on it, that's a straight line from AI job cuts to a regional housing slowdown, and almost nobody connecting those two dots honestly. What brings us to the housing bill? That's what we have now. This one's genuinely funny. So Congress passed a major housing affordability bill, 358 to 32. That's not a party line vote. That's basically everyone Then the president canceled his own signing ceremony because Congress wouldn't also give him an unrelated bill he wanted at the same time. So he took his ball and he went home. Except it didn't matter. The bill becomes law automatically in 10 days, whether he signs it or not. So the president of the United States threw a tantrum over a ceremony for a law that was happening with or without him. Now, that's not politics. That's a toddler refusing to leave Target because he didn't get the toy, while the cashier already rang up the toy and it's in the bag. So here's what already almost nobody is actually reporting, because the tantrum ate the entire news cycle. And it's all a distraction. I believe even that was as well. This bill bans Wall Street and big institutional investors from owning more than 350 single-family homes. That's the biggest single most requested piece of housing policy on the internet for the last 2 years. Every comment section screaming about corporations buying up the neighborhood. And it just became binding law while everybody was busy watching what is appearing to be a grown man pout. The bill also killed an old manufacturer home rule that was adding $5,000 to $10,000 to the cost of every new build for no real reason. And it speeds up environmental review for infill construction. Real changes buried under a fake fight. While that was happening, mortgage rates stuck between 6.4 and 6.6% for 7 straight weeks. The Fed's tone shifted from rate cuts are coming to genuinely hawkish, meaning the next move might be up, not down. If you've been waiting on the sidelines for rates to drop before you buy or sell, that bet just got a little worse, not better. And if you think the last big lawsuit actually fixed or already fixed real estate commissions, look at the actual number. Average commissions went up slightly. That settlement everybody celebrated, from around 2.38% to 2.43%. You were told the fight would save you money. The receipts say otherwise, and the attorneys did well. That's exactly the gap for the fair fixed fee program exists to close. Now, not a lawsuit settlement that quietly raised the number anyway. One number, $17K, diagnosed before you sign anything and disclosed easily. Single agency, no dual agency, no bio referral fee skimmed off the side. If you want to see what that looks like on a real Santa Clarita listing, sellersonlyagent.com lays it out plain. Now let's go to the lane that made me through the researching today's show. People are drinking unflavored gelatin mixed with hot water and cranberry juice. They're calling it nature's Ozempic. Costs about $1. Real Ozempic and drugs like it run over $1,000 a month. There has been some approval, though, for $50 a month. But one dietitian compared it to using a garden hose to fight a house fire. There's a tiny real mechanism buried in there. Protein and volume do create some fullness, but no legitimate expert says it comes anywhere close to what the actual medication does. Maybe that's a good thing, who knows? That's the fat loss version of the AI Doom video. It's not built to help you, but it's built to get you to hit record and post your own reaction. Meanwhile, the real headline barely got covered. Starting this month, Medicare will pay for GLP-1 weight loss drugs for the first time ever, roughly $50 a month for close to 3.8 million eligible seniors, paid for by you, the taxpayer, whether you take the drug or not. And the agency running it won't release what the total cost is actually projected to be. Now, I'm not telling you it's good or bad. I'm telling you that when the government won't show you the number, well, that's usually the number you most need to see. Here's a study that should mess with your head a little. Researchers found people judge somebody who lost weight on Ozempic more harshly than somebody who never lost weight at all. Losing it, the quote, easy way, gets you rated worse than not losing it. Well, think about how backwards that is. Think about how a culture we built that will criticize you either way, whether you struggle or whether you solve it, which tells you the criticism was never really about your health in the first place. It's just about humans being humans. And if you're one of the millions who found a cheaper compounded version of these drugs because the real thing was just priced out of reach, a federal court just shut down that pipeline nationwide. The separate lawsuit against one of the big telehealth compounders alleges the active ingredient wasn't even the same drug they were selling you. Stock in that company dropped over 30% the day it came out. If you paid for cheap semaglutide the last year, well, you need to actually check what you were taking. Don't assume it. Now, that's the whole thread running through every lane today. AI housing, your own body. Somebody somewhere is getting paid whether the thing they're telling you is true or not. The AI YouTuber gets paid to scare you. Politician gets airtime for the tantrum instead of the bill. The gelatin influencer gets views for the dollar trick. None of that makes the underlying story fake. It just means your job, our job, get to the real number underneath the noise every single time because nobody's going to hand it to you for free. And that's a conversation over thelastaddiction.com. If the food and fasting piece of this hit you personally, no shortcuts sold, just the real mechanics. AI for everyone. The real numbers for everybody too, not just the people willing to read past the headline. That's the mission. That's the show. Enjoy your gelatin. We'll see you in the next one.